What is a post-close occupancy agreement? That is when a buyer and seller come to terms that the seller is going to be able to stay in the house after the closing date. So, a lot of times, if a property is very desirable and we know it's going to go under contract quickly, and maybe the seller hasn't quite found that new home for themselves, then when we get an offer, we're going to negotiate for that seller to have usually up to about 30 days after the close date to stay in the home, be able to secure their next home, get their stuff moved out, and so on. So we actually have a form for that that's provided by the TN Realtors, and that form is going to outline the exact date of possession. It's going to outline how much the buyer is charging the seller, if any, and what the penalty will be to the seller if they do not vacate the home as agreed upon in this agreement. Now, why would a buyer do that? One, it's going to help you secure the purchase of that home if there's multiple offers. I personally have used this strategy because there was a lake house. My buyers absolutely loved it. They had been looking for years and could not find a home that suited them. So we found this one. They live several states away. They already knew that they were not going to be moving here for about 2 months after this closing took place. So in looking at the MLS data sheet, I noticed that possession, it said negotiable. Typically that means the seller needs extra time after the closing. So we knew we were going to be in a multiple offer situation. I talked to my buyers and I said, I think offering the seller some time in the home after we close without charging them rent will help you get this house, because I explained my reasoning. So we wrote a very strong cash offer on this place. We put down a good amount of earnest money, and then we offered them 60 days post close that they could stay in this house and help them find a new home. So we submitted our offer. The listing agent called me, and we were not the highest offer that they received, but we were the only offer they received that allowed them 60 days after the close. None of the other offers had even called to ask about that. So they had submitted that possession would be delivered to the new buyer at closing, which was not going to work for this seller. So sometimes when you pay attention, or your agent pays attention to what the MLS says, then you can win out against potentially higher offers by working with the seller and meeting their needs.